Hey, you guys, hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you're new here. We're going to be talking about, once again, former teen mom Jenelle Evans Easton. The past few weeks, her life has been crazy. I mean, to be quite honest, her life has been crazy since we met her on 16 and Pregnant. It's been CPS investigations, custody situations, 911 calls, allegations of DV, allegations of ABUSE, all the things, right? It has been so much going on in her life. However, this past February, when she made the announcement that she was going to be leaving David Eason, separating from him, everybody kind of had hopes that, she would finally put her kids as a priority and do what was best for her kids. She moved to Vegas. We found out that shortly after she moved to Vegas, she let her manager turn boyfriend, um, August King, move in with her. And I know August King's real name is not August, but I prefer to call him by that because I don't want anybody saying I'm doxing him, which his name is out there. I know that's not his real name, but that is what he goes by. So that is what I call him. I call him August. But we found out that she let a guy move in with her just months after like 3 months after she announced that she was leaving David. And there was a 911 call that came out where her new boyfriend, August, accused her of getting physical with him. In that 911 call, he says that she had drank like 12 alcoholic beverages, that she smokes weed all day and she takes pills. That 911 call sparked CPS's interest, along with a couple of other things that happened. Jay's getting in trouble at school, Kaiser getting in trouble at school. CPS showed up at Janelle's door. 3 days after CPS showed up at Janelle's door, she did not answer. They left a card with their number asking her to call them back. 3 days later, she was on a plane with Kaiser to Tennessee to take him to live with his grandmother, Doris, which is Nathan's mom. Kaiser's dad is Nathan. Kaiser's dad is not David, for anyone that's, it's hard to keep up. I understand. So Kaiser's dad is Nathan. 2 weeks after she left Kaiser there, the public found out that she took Kaiser to live with his grandmother and that she did not tell him he would be living with his grandmother. She sent him there under the thought that he was going for a visit, for a short, like, weekend visit. She even went so far as not allowing him to bring his winter clothes and like his gaming systems and things like that because she did not want Kaiser to be suspicious of why he was bringing his gaming systems and his winter clothes if he was only going to stay for like a weekend, right? So she purposely went above and beyond to make sure he did not know. Once they got there, she told Kaiser, "You're not coming back. You're going to be living here." A couple weeks later, the public they find out that she purposely withheld this information with him. So she got a lot of backlash. After that, she went back and got Kaiser and brought him back home. It has been one thing after the other. On the very day that she got Kaiser home, her and Jace had a falling out, and Jace ran away. She had a 911 call that Saturday night and then another 911 call that Sunday. In the 911 call that Sunday, she said that Jace was smashing things. She pretty much admitted when the cop said, "Does he drink or do drugs?" She says, "I think he drinks behind my back and he smokes weed. And that's what caused the problem is I went in his room and I took his," and then the dispatcher cut her off. So she did not get to finish where I think she was going, that she took his weed. Maybe that's not where she was going, but it definitely sounded like that's where she was going. Either way, James was removed from her care. We don't know if he's in state custody. I don't know if he's in state custody. I know he's not with Barbara. I'm leaning towards her having him committed because she said in the 911 call she wanted to have him evaluated. So I think she may have potentially placed him somewhere. Either way, Doris, Nathan's mom, had Kaiser for a little bit over 2 weeks. He had been in school for his third day when Jenelle went to the school, checked him out, and took off with him and brought him back to Vegas. she told the school that she was checking him out because he needed to go to the doctor. So Nathan since has done a interview with the Sun. The Sun released one of the parts of the interviews earlier this week or last week. What's today? Last week they released last Friday was when the Sun released the first portion of Nathan's interview. In that portion of the interview, Nathan discussed how Jenelle brought Kaiser to his mother, and he was there for 2 weeks. And on the third day, she took him out. Nathan discussed how Kaiser had told him that he did get caught vaping. Nathan also said, "My son has told me that he has done X, Y, and Z." It seems like he's saying they bleeped it out. Nathan did not bleep it out, but the Sun bleeped out what Nathan was saying. But it sounds like he's saying they didn't bleep out where he says my son got caught vaping, but it seems like he's saying like maybe he's smoked weed, tried other drugs, and possibly other things. I don't want to speculate on what he said because I'm really not sure. But the fact that the Sun was bleeping it out can tell you there. And the fact that Nathan was even bringing it up, saying, "My son told me he has done X, Y, and Z," tells you there that it's nothing good and it's nothing that a 10-year-old should even be subjected to. So that was in the first part about the first part of the interview. Now a second part has been released, and we will go over the second part because in the second part, Nathan says that Kaiser took the brunt of the punishments when it comes to the kids. That if Jace did something to Inslee, Jace would blame it on Kaiser, and Kaiser would get in trouble. And he said that especially when it come to Inslee, if Kaiser did anything to Inslee, Kaiser would get in trouble. He talked about how Inslee was pinching Kaiser, and Kaiser ended up pinching her back. He says Kaiser got the hell beat out of him for that. And let me tell you guys, he also talks about a scar on Kaiser. And I was told about this a few weeks back. A few weeks back, one of my sources told me that Kaiser has a scar on him, and it was from David pinching him. There are multiple people. Jenelle, when you have a son that has permanent scars on them from David, other people will know about this because your son will be other places with other people like Doris, other places where people could potentially see the scars, and they may say, "Oh, what happened?" And he will tell them. And that's the kind of things that have happened is Kaiser has a scar like on the back of his shoulder, and it is from David pinching him to the point that it drew blood and it left a scar. I found out about this like a month or so ago, and I was just like, that's why sometimes when somebody comes in here defending Jenelle, and I'm like, no, y'all don't know what I know. The things that I know is horrible. Jenelle knows about this scar. Jenelle knows the things that David has done to Jace and Kaiser. And the type of things that Jenelle will say is, "Oh, you're tough, you can take it." She will downplay it like it's not a big deal. Like when David is pinching the hell out of Kaiser and Kaiser is crying about it, she's like, "Oh, it's fine. You're strong. You can handle that. You're tough. You can handle that." To make it seem like it's not a big deal and Kaiser should be able to handle it. Okay. So we're going to listen to the second part of this interview. And I know a lot of people is like, Nathan hasn't stepped up to do anything to help Kaiser, but I do think Nathan's trying to get to that point. And Nathan spoke out years ago about this. Nathan went on a tangent for a while for Kaiser before Nathan really got too bad off. I mean, Kaiser was probably 6 or 7 when Nathan he was posting on Facebook, he was posting on X, or back then was Twitter. He literally would tag the Clark County, I think it was Clark County, no, not Clark County. He would tag the local police department, local to Janelle's area. He tagged CPS. He posted photos of his son with bruises on him and tagged CPS. and tagged the police department and literally was like, why can't anything be done? My son has bruises from his stepdad. Why is nobody doing anything? And it got nowhere. Nathan has spoken up in the past. He really has. He tried to get custody in the past, but unfortunately, Nathan's life took a bad, dark turn the past few years, or the past, specifically like the past like 2 years, maybe. But he is trying to do better. And I do think knowing what Kaiser's been subjected to probably is a big push for Kaiser to do better. But let's go ahead. Let's listen to the second part of Nathan's not 911. I was going to say 911 call. Nathan's interview.
I think he's the middle child. I feel like he's neglected. I think Jace blames a lot of his actions for Jace getting in trouble on him. Is like when they were younger, Kaiser told me, Jace threw a rock and hit Inslee in the head and blamed it on Kaiser, and Kaiser got the living crap beat out of him for it, especially when it came to that little girl. If Kaiser did anything, um, he showed me a scar on his arm, and this is how sick and demonic this stuff is, because Inslee kept on messing with him and hitting him and pinching him. So Kaiser pinched her back. Inslee didn't get in trouble. Nobody. David supposedly reached around, pinched him as hard as he could, and made him bleed on the arm. And he has a scar on his shoulder from him. Kaiser told me he's punched him in the.
I was told like a month ago it was on the back of his shoulder, like back here. But what I was saying is Jenelle thinks because she has left David and she's filed for a divorce that she will probably get away with the things that he did to those kids. It's done and over with. She sat there and she allowed these things to happen. And when David would do these things, she would literally tell the kids, "Oh, you're tough. You can handle it. You're tough. You can handle it," to make it out like it's not a big deal. I feel like Jenelle thinks, "Oh, she's left David." All the things that David did and that she sat by and did not stop him, she's going to get away with those things. But Jenelle, your kids are going to grow up. They're not just going to forget about this. They're just not going to forget about the fact that you allowed David to treat them this way. And especially for the scars that have been left on them. When other people ask, how did you get that? Guess what they're going to say? David, where was your mom? Oh, right there.
Face several times. And the thing about it is, this is why I was telling Jenelle that he's a monster, but she was allowing that to happen to my son. It's funny that me and her both have perfect teeth. The only reason why my bottom, if anybody knows anything about dental, the only reason the bottom teeth are messed up now is because their teeth start migrating. But I've always had a good smile. And Jenelle, never had braces and stuff and has pretty straight teeth. Kaiser had a underbite because when he was 2 years old, 2.5 years old, he told me one day that David reached around and punched him in the jaw. And during that time, I didn't see Kaiser for 3 months. I don't know why I didn't see him for 3 months when I had orders and stuff like that. We kept on going over to her house, trying to pick him up. She kept on denying for almost 3 months. And so we think his jaw got broken somehow. And that's why he had an underbite for the longest time.
And I would like to say, like, oh, wow, that's crazy. Like, surely not. There is no way Kaiser had a messed up jaw that David did something like that. But I can't. I have spoken to people that know for a fact that David put his hands around Jace's neck and squeezed his neck. He's been charged with that. David was initially, when it comes to the Jace situation, he was initially charged with like misdemeanor child abuse. But once the district attorney saw the ring camera footage of what he did, Jace had marks on his neck. He had marks on his neck and bruises on his shoulder, his arms. Once they saw all the evidence, they changed it from a misdemeanor child abuse to felony child abuse due to strangulation. So he did that to Jace at 14 years old So while I would want to say, oh, that's a stretch, Nathan, I can't believe that he would do something like that. I can. I really can, unfortunately. And we all know how Jenelle, she denies things. Just like when Jenelle had to get something done to her, something done with her mouth. I don't remember what it was. Randy, Chelsea's dad, somebody asked Randy, like, hey, is this normal for you to have your mouth realigned or something? And he said, no, not unless it was unaligned. Like the only reason someone would go to the dentist and have their jaw aligned is if something knocked it out of alignment. And Jenelle said, oh, he's a liar. He never treated me. He doesn't know what he's talking about. And I'm like, he's a dentist. And it makes sense. You don't need to get something realigned unless it was at some point messed up, unless you were born that way. And I mean, maybe she was born with her jaw messed up and not aligned. I guess that's possible she was born that way. But I also feel like we know that, she did the 911 call saying she thinks she broke her collarbone. And then she went back and said, oh no, drunken mistake. That didn't happen. So we really can't say that anything that Nathan is saying is a stretch because so much has happened that we've heard with our own ears the 911 call about the collarbone. Jenelle needing her jaw realigned and a dentist saying no, unless you were born that way. You were born that way, or somebody damaged it and messed it up. We've heard so many things, so unfortunately, we can't say it's too much of a stretch. So Nathan is now going to read a text message that he sent to Jenelle. So let's go ahead, let's listen.
If you weren't so prideful, you should have left him in my care a long, long time ago. Besides letting that monster put his hands on my son, which makes you a monster because you're allowing all this to happen. You're going to screw this kid over for the rest of his life, and you don't care. If he ends up in jail or ends up doing something serious, who's going to get the blame? Are the parents going to get the blame, or is he going to get the blame? And that's what sucks. Is because I'm going to tell you, 99% of kids who get in trouble and kids who are a certain way is because, I'm not saying it's all because of the parents, because like I said, I was raised in a decent household, but there was a lot of trauma in my household and I had to figure out things by myself. And it starts with the parents, about guidance, about educating them about what to do, what not to do, showing them love and attention. And so when he's not getting love and attention and he gets in trouble, let's say he's older, he's 18 and 19, people aren't going to look at his childhood. They're going to be like, you know what, he did this.
You're an adult.
Yeah, exactly. And so now my kid is going to look like he's this bad kid, or this bad adult. Now it's not his fault though. He's just trying to figure out life the best he knows because the tools that was given to him. And it's unfortunate. And some kids are being raised like that. They don't have the right tools and equipment to operate on a workbench. But hopefully, the media and society can see the seriousness of this and understand that these kids are going to be, even my kid is going to probably grow up to be a menace to society. I mean, hell, I'm right there being a menace to society, because of choices, whether I was trying to help somebody, whether I was trying.
This is why I can find it in myself to have a little bit of respect for Nathan, because he's like, with the way that my kid is being raised, I'm scared he's going to grow up to be a menace to society. I'm scared he's going to grow up breaking the law and going to jail, because guess what's going to happen when he breaks the law and he's old enough to go to jail? He will go to jail. Janelle won't. That'll be on him. And he's like, I really don't want that to happen. And he's even saying I was a menace to society. I'm still trying to come out of that. So while I can say Nathan has made a lot of mistakes that do not paint him in a good light, I think he's trying to do better. And at least he can admit that he's made those mistakes. At least he can admit, yeah, I'm a menace to society. I'm a menace to society. Look at the things that I've done. So at least he can admit that. Whereas Jenelle never, ever, ever, ever admits that she was wrong. Jenelle never says, yes, I messed up. I shouldn't have done that. Every single thing that Jenelle has ever done, That was wrong. She has blamed it on someone else.
And be the life of the party or just doing dumb. But it was a journey I had to take to try to correct myself, and hopefully I'm going the right direction. I might stumble again. I'm looking forward to stumbling again. I'm gonna try not to, but I mean I'm trying my best, and whether people see it or not. So and that's
I don't know if that was the smartest comment to make, saying I'm looking forward to stumbling. I think I understand what he's saying is like, not that he's looking forward to it, but it's almost like I'm not gonna say that because I always get backlash when I from some people, but it's almost like I'm on the path to do better, but I know there's a chance that I could do wrong. Like I know there's a chance I may mess up. And I hope I don't, but I know it's there.
why all I want is for my son and my daughter too is to do their best and to lean on support and help when they need it, especially me because I'm one of those type of people who can say, been there, done that, did my it's time to grow. And I honestly do thank God for that, and I thank God for this experience I'm going through because it helped enlighten a lot of things and a lot of perspectives in my life, and I think I needed this so I could have a wake up call. And I think I am strong enough to realize, that my way isn't always right. My stubbornness and my arrogance isn't always the correct answer, and that I need to listen and be more patient with people.
So yeah, that was the second part, and I don't know if there's a third part to it. It could be that there's more that we will be covering in the next few days that he comes out with. But I will say, in just the two parts that we've seen, he has put out a lot. Kaiser's gotten the brunt of any sort of punishment. Jace has blamed things on Kaiser, so he doesn't get in trouble for things. Inslee will, that is like kind of normal. You know, Inslee doing something to Kaiser and, Kaiser doing something back. That is kind of normal kid behavior. But what should happen is if Inslee is pinching Kaiser and then Kaiser pinches her back, Inslee should get in trouble too. She started it. It should be like, hey, you don't put your hands on somebody. You pinched him, he pinched you back. Neither one of y'all should be pinching each other. But in the real world, sometimes when you do something to somebody, they might do something back to you. So do not put yourself in the position to be doing something to someone to hurt someone because you may get hurt back. But at the end of the day, they are siblings. They are siblings, and you have to handle that by talking to both of them and kind of getting onto both of them, not just getting onto Kaiser. And the discipline that Kaiser received because he pinched Inslee back was that David pinched him so hard it drew blood and it left a scar. That was David's discipline to Kaiser. And Jenelle was there, from my understanding, and witnessed this. So that's what we know right now. The Sun has an article up. I'll go over it really quickly. I'll read it really quickly for you guys. I think it's kind of going over a lot of, what the video is about, but I do think there's some more stuff down towards the bottom. Teen mom Jenelle Evans, monster ex David Easton, punched her son Kaiser in the face several times. Tween dad claims. Nathan spoke to the Sun in a exclusive on-camera interview in which he made disturbing allegations about his son's treatment while in the care of Jenelle and for her former husband David. Here's the thing: the fact that David could, when Kaiser was just like 2 years old, the fact that David could call him a whiny bitch, just like his dad, on camera, where the Teen Mom fans were going to watch this. The fact that he talked to him like that on camera tells us that he would do so much more off camera. All right, the father of two, Nathan, who says he's been sober now for over 130 days. That's a big accomplishment. So shout out to him for doing that. It says he's been working to get his life back on track, believes his son, who is Janelle's middle child, has been neglected by Jenelle and his ex-stepdad over the years. Nathan said he believes Kaiser's older brother, Jace, often blames Kaiser for things that Jace allegedly did to their younger sister, Inslee. He said when they were younger, Kaiser told me Jace threw a rock and hit Inslee in the head and blamed Kaiser. Kaiser got the living crap beat out of him for it. Nathan added, anything relating to Janelle's youngest and only daughter, Inslee, would incur the wrath of her father, David. If Kaiser did anything to Inslee, and this is how sick and demonic this stuff is, Inslee kept on messing with him, hitting him and pinching him. So Kaiser pinched her back. Inslee didn't get in trouble, but David supposedly reached around and pinched him as hard as he could and made him bleed on the arm. And he had a scar on his shoulder from it. It's kind of like on the back of his shoulder, from my understanding. Kaiser told me David punched him in the face several times. Nathan also sent Jenelle a text message after she ripped the 10-year-old out of school in Tennessee on his third day to drag him back to live with her in Vegas. Nathan said he told Jenelle in a text, if you weren't so prideful, you should have left him in my care a long, long time ago. Besides letting that monster put his hands on my son, which makes you a monster because you are allowing all of this to happen. You're going to screw this kid up. You're going to screw this kid over for the rest of his life, and you don't care. Nathan further explained to the son, this is why I was telling Jenelle that she's a monster. She was allowing that to happen to my son. Nathan went on to claim that he believes Kaiser has an underbite because when he was 2 years old, David reached around and punched him in the jaw. During that time, I did not see Kaiser for 3 months. We kept going over to the house trying to pick him up, but she kept on denying us. So we think his jaw got broken somehow, and that's why he had an underbite for the longest time. David's criminal attorney, who is representing him after he was accused of strangling Janelle's oldest son, Jace, in an incident last year, did not respond to the son's request for comment. David has never directly or publicly denied any abuse allegations against him. In a phone call with Jenelle and her manager turned boyfriend, August, the pair did not deny any claims of abuse by David, but they denied that Jenelle ever witnessed anything herself. Jenelle did deny to the son that David broke Kaiser's jaw. Kaiser has an underbite because everyone in my family, my sister had an underbite. It just needed to be fixed. So that's not true. And also other allegations about abuse. I've been checked out for about 70 times. You want to know how many other people have been checked out by CPS? My mother-in-law, who worked for CPS for 10 plus years as a CPS investigator, can tell you that there were times the kids were blatantly being abused. The parents were not good parents, and the judge would not allow her to remove the kids. I know a lot of times we want to blame it on CPS, but it's not even CPS. It's the judge, because my mother-in-law told me stories about how her recommendation would be to remove the kids. The judge, the parents were really bad addicts. It was an abusive home. The parents were not complying with the orders to take parenting classes. They would not take the random drug testing. And her recommendation would be, we need to remove the kids. And the judge would not allow it to happen. So Jenelle saying, oh, I've been checked out for abuse 70 times, does not mean that it didn't happen, because a lot of times judges literally try their best to keep kids with their family. So many have been checked out, and sadly the child are no longer here. That is true. Nathan was involved with those cases, and he knows exactly what was brought up, and he knows exactly what happened. And so nothing happened. Well, how can he know exactly what happened if nothing happened? Possibly no catfish Nana. I wouldn't be shocked. At this point, August jumped in and corrected the record when pressed on if Jenelle was issuing a denial on abuse allegations. Denial is not the right word. Jenelle is in the middle of things that she's unaware of. So August literally says, well, she can't deny that. Denial is the wrong word, because she's in the middle of things that she's not aware of. What they're doing here, what August is doing here by saying that, is maybe August might be a wee bit smarter than Jenelle by saying, well, we can't blatantly deny this, because what if something comes out? We're being investigated. You're being investigated by CPS right now. We know this. CPS is investigating you, right? So if we deny that you know this, if you just deny it, and then it comes out that you were aware of this, That's not going to look good, right? So let's just say denial is not a good word because you're in the middle of something that you're unaware of. Things could have potentially happened that you're unaware of. So let's not deny anything right now, you know. All right, let's continue. Ultimately, this is what August said. Ultimately, she doesn't know 100% if David pinched Kaiser. She doesn't know that 1,000%. So I don't think she's denying it. Girl, you know, it left a scar. You know he pinched Kaiser. I think she's put in the middle of these things, and that's why David is facing child abuse charges as we speak, August said. Like, if David really did do these things, he's facing the consequences now. I mean, the guy is in a crap ton of trouble. He's facing strangulation charges against Jace. And what goes around comes around. I'm glad that August, the boyfriend, brought up the fact that David is facing strangulation charges and what goes around comes around. Because guess who denied that David strangled Jace? Guess who denied that? Jenelle. Jenelle denied it. Jenelle defended David for weeks, if not months, after it happened. So the fact that you can bring this up and say, oh, he's facing strangulation charges, what goes around comes around. You're right, he is. And Janelle's aware of that. Jenelle saw it happen. And the fact that you are saying she's aware of it, yeah, we knew she was, but she lied. She lied. And I'm sure if she knew that 100%, she probably would have reacted the same. Listen to this. Listen to this. August gets Jenelle caught up right here, too. He says, and I'm sure if she knew that 100%, she probably would have reacted the same way as she reacted with the Jay situation. August then erroneously said that Jenelle filed the charges against David for child abuse when he attacked Jace. August said, you could see she filed charges against David for child abuse because that was a little more apparent to her. It was then pointed out that Jenelle was not the one that pressed charges. It was the state of North Carolina. And then August said, what I meant is that she's not protecting David. Let me correct myself. She's not protecting David against anyone. But she did, August. August, do you not know your client? Jenelle was your client back then. You were her manager when this was happening, when David was arrested, when he got a court summons, I think, when David was charged, when it went from a misdemeanor to a felony. She was your client. You were her manager. She denied all these things. Even on her first episode of Teen Mom, when she talked to Brianna, she was like, well, Jace accused David of attacking him. She didn't say David attacked Jace. She said Jace accused David of attacking him. And she said it in a way as if she did not believe it, like Jace lied. Jen V, hey, Jen V's been a member for 3 months. Thank you. So I'm like, August must have forgot a lot about the things that have happened because he's kind of putting her in a pickle by saying, oh, she filed charges against David for the child abuse because it was much more apparent to her. And then it was like, no, she didn't. The state did. He's like, oh, well, she's not protecting David. She's not protecting him. But she did back when it all happened. The Sun continued to push Jenelle directly about what she claimed she didn't see in her home with her children. The Sun said, Jenelle, are you denying that you ever seen David hurt your children or Kaiser specifically? And she said, no, never. I think, are you denying it? Like, are you saying, no, I'm not denying it? I would never deny it? Are you saying, no, I never seen it? And I can't help what the ads are. I don't place the ads in here. So if there's political ads, that's YouTube. That's not on me. I can go through and delete ads, but I do not choose what ads are on this video. So if there's an ad that's political, that's YouTube, not me. So yeah, Jenelle, are you denying that you've ever seen David hurt your children or Kaiser specifically? No, never. Nathan continued to discuss his son's path after previously revealing he fears Janelle's children have been exposed to drugs. He said, "What gets me is if he ends up in jail or ends up doing something serious. Who's going to get the blame? The parents can't get the blame. That's what's going to suck." And he's saying this in regards to if they're old enough, 17 years old. I'm going to tell you 99% of kids who get in trouble and kids who are a certain way are because of the parents. I do think when it comes to like teenagers, if they grow up in a chaotic lifestyle with parents that allow them to drink and do drugs, it's not going to go a good way. Nathan says, "I was raised in a decent household, but there was a lot of trauma in my household, and I had to figure things out by myself. And, it starts with the parents about guidance, about educating them, about what to do and what not to do, and about showing them love and attention. When he's not getting love and attention, he gets in trouble. Let's say he's older, he's 18, 19. People are not going to look at him. People are not going to look at his childhood. They're going to be like, you know what? He did this. So now my kid is going to look like he's this bad kid or this bad adult now, and it's not his fault. He's just trying to figure out life the best he knows because of the tools that he was given, because of the tools that were given to him, and it's unfortunate. The 37-year-old former reality TV star went on to express his hope that the media will bring attention to the situation that his son is in. But hopefully, the media and society can see the seriousness of this and understand that these kids are going to be, even my kid, is going to probably grow up to be a menace to society. I mean, hell, I'm right there being a menace to society because of my choices. Whether I was trying to help somebody, whether I was trying to be the life of the party, or just doing dumb stuff. Nathan explained that he is on a better path these days. It was a journey. I had to correct myself, and hopefully, I'm going in the right direction. I might stumble again. I'm looking forward to stumbling again. And somebody pointed out in the chat that he may mean that he's looking forward to stumbling again because now he has the tools to handle it the right way. That's possibly what he meant. He said, "I'm not going to try to. I'm trying my best, whether people see it or not." Nathan opened up about his fears for his son after Jenelle moved Kaiser to live with grandmother Doris in Tennessee earlier this month, only to be ripped from her home 2 weeks into living there and just 3 days into starting a new school. Nathan said he thought his ex was making the right decision by moving Kaiser to Tennessee to live with Doris. Nathan said that Kaiser was in a very sticky situation in Janelle's care. "My son has already blank. He already vapes. He's already blank. He's already done blank. And he's 10 years old." The father of two said CPS should be taking the allegations seriously. He claimed that his 10-year-old told him he got in trouble. Nope, it's not at school. Nathan never said at school. He just said he got caught vaping. It was at the YMCA. It was at a summer program. It was not at school. Jenelle denied this, denied that there was drugs in the home, denied that and Jenelle can deny that he got caught vaping at school because he hasn't, to my knowledge. It was only at the YMCA. I don't know what happened at school, but um, it was a YMCA over the summer that he got caught vaping. CPS has been involved in Janelle's household for years. In 2019, the Child Welfare Agency briefly removed Kaiser from the home. Nathan said his son was getting used to living in Tennessee when Jenelle abruptly changed her mind and decided to get him and bring him back to Vegas. He says Kaiser was in his third day of school on Friday, October 18th, when she pulled him out and told the school administrators that Kaiser had to get to the hospital. Nathan said Jenelle changed her mind and blamed his mother for the about face. Nathan said his mother told him Jenelle called her yelling and screaming about CPS's alleged involvement, and that was ultimately what he thinks made the former MTV star change her mind about Kaiser's new living arrangement. Nathan added, "The kid is being tossed around." Nathan said his ex-fiance has started thinking about Nathan said that his ex-fiance has to start thinking about what's best for Kaiser and not herself. He said, "If you can't raise kids, don't raise kids. Kaiser needs attention right now. He needs to be in a good environment." So that's the article from The Sun. And that's everything that we have. I'm going to take a few questions and just kind of chat about it. Anybody that's watching on replay, it's been a long one, but that's everything that we have right now. If anybody has any questions, I'll answer questions and we'll chat for a minute. But anybody's watching on replay, I don't think when is David's court date? I think I heard it's going to be the summer 2025, but I don't remember where I heard that from. Is Nathan's daughter doing okay? Her mother must be doing a better job than Jenelle. I think she is. Is Kaiser in school? I'm not sure. Reality TV Lover says, I was really hoping Jenelle was getting her crap together, but she just replaced, yes, she did. She just replaced him with somebody else. Did you see the live on Instagram from Nathan accusing his girlfriend of cheating? It was very recent. I didn't, but he's married. And she's been posting, he's married and he's been posting, they've been posting each other on, she's been posting Nathan on her Instagram lately. Good night, Tamarin. Good night, good night, good night. Marissa is with her mom and her grandmother, between the two. So Marissa has, she stays with her mom and her stepdad. Sometimes she stays with her grandmother as well, David's mom. And I mean, not David's mom, her Gam Gam. She stays with her mom's mom. And she does see David. David's new girlfriend has posted TikToks of them with Marissa on Marissa's birthday, doing like a birthday cake, singing happy birthday. David's girlfriend took Marissa's, took some, I don't know if it's her senior pictures. I don't think she's a senior, but maybe just like kind of, she took some pictures of Marissa recently, dressed up really nice with a horse, with her boyfriend. Marissa got a boyfriend. So Marissa's doing good. She does still see David though. Yeah, he hasn't had court yet, and I want to say that I read the reason for that was mainly court because it's Superior Court, so they have to try to get it on the calendar. But he don't have an attorney for that either. I mean, he may have a court appointed. He probably has a court appointed attorney. But I know that Jenelle was paying for his attorney. Jenelle was, and she quit. Yeah, if Jace was still on his medication, it probably wouldn't be as bad. Thank you so much. I'm not sure. I wonder if Jenelle and David would get back together. I mean, I wouldn't be shocked because when she left him a couple of years ago and moved to Tennessee, we thought she was done. We thought it was done and over with, and she went back. So, I mean, if David's daughter thought her dad was evil, why would she see him? She's like 16 or 17. She has witnessed her dad kill dogs. She has witnessed her dad lose his cool and yell and scream. She's witnessed him behave in ways that he shouldn't. But at the end of the day, that is her dad. I know plenty of kids that kept a relationship with their parent that was mean to them. That was, I mean, literally, there's literally girls that, up until adulthood had a relationship with their father that sexually assaulted them, that sexually abused them. Even abused kids love their parents, unfortunately, and it takes a lot sometimes for the kid to say, you know what? And the thing about it is David, I've never heard of David being that way with Marissa. I've heard of David being, away with Jenelle, Kaiser, Jace. I've never heard of him. Have I heard of him being out of the way with Hensley? A little bit, yes, a little bit. Basically, what I've been told is that it was the worst with Kaiser, Jace, and Jenelle. But he would lose his temper with Inslee here and there. And yes, Marissa tried telling CPS. She did. I mean, literally, when CPS took the kids in 2019, Marissa literally testified against David. Whenever they were, whenever they took the kids and they tried to set up visitation, Marissa was like, "I don't want to see them. I do not want to see them." And she testified against David. The CPS worker told Marissa, "If you tell the truth, we will protect you. We will protect you." She trusted them. She told the truth, and they dropped the ball. And the judge placed the kids. The judge placed Inslee, Kaiser, and Marissa back in David and Janelle's house like 3 days after Marissa testified. Like 3 days after Marissa testified, saying how, you know, he yells and he screams and he breaks things and, the way that he behaves at that house and how it scares her for her to see him this way. Now, she was like 9, maybe. No, she was like 11. She was like 11 whenever she testified. I'll never forget the phone call that David made to Whitney and Marissa. Exactly. So, like, gaslighting her. I couldn't even imagine talking to my kid the way that the way that he talked to her. So yeah, I think she has seen it. I think when she was younger, it kind of scared her, but I think it become a normal to her for her dad to be that way. She does not see him every day. She I think it's like here, there, and every once in a while that she will go see her dad. I do know that she felt sorry for him. I do know that Marissa kind of felt bad for David when Jenelle put him out and cut off all the cards to where he had no access to money because she was actually loaning him money. Marissa had a job and was going to school, and she was loaning David money because Jenelle cut him off the bank account and he was living in the boat. Does Marissa talk to Inslee? Not that I'm aware of. Grumpkin says, "Elle, why do you think Jenelle even keeps the kids? Because Jenelle wants to be portrayed as a good mom. That is what, even when Jenelle was 17 years old, running the streets, chasing Kiefer, doing drugs, she still wanted the viewers to think she's a good mom. And she would literally sit on TV high as a kite saying, I'm a good mom. I'm a good mom. I'm just young. My mom won't let me parent my son. I'm a good mom. And it's like, girl, no, no, you're not. So Janelle's biggest goal is for the public to think she's a good mom. If Janelle was not known, if Janelle was not known publicly, I don't think she would have those kids. I think she would have let Barbara keep Jace. I think she would have let Nathan and Doris have Kaiser. And I think she would let David keep Inslee. If she was not someone that has a following, that has been on and off of TV, I don't think she would have the kids. They used to. So does Marissa ever talk to her half brother? Marissa used to talk to her half brother because Marissa's mom and Olivia used to be good friends. But there was something that happened maybe like 2 years or so ago, maybe a little bit longer, to where Olivia really locked it down and she stopped associating with anyone that had anything to do with David. Jenelle won't ever be a good mom, Annie Oakley says. Are you still doing Mama June show? Just got here fine. Yes, yes. We will continue to follow the Mama June show. Shenanigans says that Jenelle, as many times as you scream it from the rooftop, we know you're unfortunately. Because because you are so public, things will come out. Things that happen in that house. Does anybody know how Barbara is doing? Barbara seems to be doing okay. Barbara, from what Janelle's sister Ashley said, Barbara is worried and concerned about Jace. That she would like to, keep up with what's going on with Jace, which Jace is not with Jenelle right now, but he's not with Barbara either. So, but Barbara did post a video on TikTok, It was about voting. She did not mention Jace, but she was like, "Hey, it's Barbara, Janelle's mom, from Team Mom. I just got back from voting, and I want all of you guys to go vote." That was literally like 3 days or so ago. I didn't watch it. Was it this past weekend? Yes, I do have a true crime channel called Fatal Files with Elle. I just haven't had time to put much energy into it. I have watched some of the Life After Lockup. I can see Elle covering that show. I actually like watching that show. And I actually covered it a while back. And I was friends with Deontay. I'm actually still cool with Deontay. Deontay gets a lot of crap, but the production had him say certain things, do certain things, and they really painted him as like just this do boy for the girl on the show, and but Deontay's a really sweet guy. Um, why would she keep having children if she did not want any of them? Well, she got pregnant with her first one, relatively young. I think Janelle wanted to. I think there was a part of her that wanted that normal lifestyle, get married, have kids, the white picket fence. I think she wanted that. I think there was a part of her, especially whenever, because oh wow, really? I did not know that shenanigans. So especially when I forgot my train of thought. What was I saying? Oh, okay. So she accidentally got pregnant with Jace, right? To Barbara. Well, then her and Nathan get together, and she falls in love with Nathan so quickly because if you guys remember, Janelle has sent me personal messages. Yes, she has. Janelle has been off on me before. She gets with Cortland. Was it Cortland? And she gets pregnant and she has the abortion. And then right after that, she gets with Nathan. It's so soon that she gets with Nathan that her and Nathan thought they were pregnant. They thought they were pregnant. It was so quick. Come to find out, she was not pregnant. It was just her hormone levels had not decreased enough to not show up on a pregnancy test since the abortion. So what it was is because she had just had the abortion a couple weeks prior, the pregnancy test still read positive. So when they thought she was pregnant, they were all happy. They had a meeting with Barbara, and they're like, "Oh, we thought we were pregnant," and they were like, Barbara's like, "What? Why would you want to be pregnant?" And she's like, "Well, we like each other," and they're like, "But we wasn't pregnant. It was just, the miscarriage." And she was like, "Oh my god, like the fact that you not the miscarriage, abortion." She was like, "The fact that you just had an abortion for being pregnant with somebody else and you're with a different man thinking that you're pregnant by him and happy about that, like that's not normal. That's not okay." She's like, "Don't you think you should like get settled and like date him a little bit longer before you try to have a baby with him?" She was literally just pregnant by someone else, had the abortion, and her levels had not went back down to normal. And she thought she was pregnant by her new boyfriend. So they got a little happy thinking that she was pregnant by Nathan. So when they found out she wasn't, they decided they were going to try for a baby. So she got pregnant really quickly from Nathan. But I think they both thought they liked each other a lot. Nathan, was a Marine. So I think she thought it would be some normalcy. And, they got engaged. So I think there's a part of her that thinks, but as soon as they split up, it was, I think at that point, she didn't really want him, really, in my opinion. That's just my opinion. Is Janelle going to move to Florida? I doubt it. As long as she's with August, I don't think so. I agree, SJ. I do agree, and I think that's a sad situation. SJ says Jenelle needs the money for kids. She needs people to watch her social media, so she keeps the kids for followers. I remember Nathan in a clip said having a baby would help us argue less. Boy, he had no idea. He had no idea. But anyways, you guys, we're almost going on an hour. She will protect her man, though, even when they hurt her children. That is my opinion as well. I think David and Cortland talked in jail, and David was like, I can get with her. Maybe not in that way, but it's awfully sus that David came along right after Cortland. Yes, that's been discussed how they were in jail together. Has Andrew seen Jace? I don't think he has, and since they left. Since they left North Carolina, I don't think he has. Has she had a hysterectomy or her tubes tied? I hope. I think she has. Thank you, Colton. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate you guys so much. But you guys leave me your thoughts in the comment section below. Everybody in here, y'all had to subscribe because I have it on subscriber mode. So thank you. Keep that subscription because I'm trying really hard to get to 100,000 subscribers by Christmas. That would just mean the most to me if I could hit 100,000 subscribers. Also on the way out, hit that thumbs up button. Colton says, has Jace met Andrew's other son? I don't know because I didn't even know Andrew had another son. So I'm not sure. But yeah, you guys leave me your thoughts. Is there any agency behind removing the kids from the dangerous living situation that they have been in for years? Well, CPS is investigating, so we'll see where that goes, Yeah. You guys leave me your thoughts. Hit that thumbs up button on the way out, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye, guys.